So he continues. Jesus is on a roll. He says, watch out for the teachers of the law. They like to walk around in flowing robes. They like to have that distinguished look. The robes that says, look at me, I'm important, I'm an authority figure, I have power. Anybody been wearing your robes lately? Usually our robes are bathrobes, house robes, and they usually aren't anything that sets us apart as amazing. It's like, you're still wearing that radio thing? Yeah. But here they are in their robes. Now, when I graduated from Asbury Theological Seminary, they had our black robes, our little black mortar cap, and then the stole for Masters of Divinity is the beautiful bright red and deep royal blue. And it's just like, and I felt really important. It was like, this is amazing. And then when you realize that this is the way the clergy would walk in Jesus' day, they would be in their vestments. They would be there to let everybody know, I graduated. I'm smart. I know the scripture. And they would walk around in that. It's so nice that we don't do that. I have a good friend that would preach in his robe in the Free Methodist Church. He preached in a robe every day, every Sunday. And it was really interesting. And here was his purpose. Not so that everybody would think, ooh, pretty important. He didn't have his stole on. He just had a black robe. He lived in Florida. And he said, I could wear shorts and a t-shirt under my robe every Sunday. And I could get away with it. He doesn't know it, but he's really vineyard at heart. The casual dress. The unpretentious, we're not dressing to impress. And by the vestments, by the garments that we wear, say, look, I am somebody. But we understand that it's really what's going on in your heart. And the ability to receive God's love gives you the ability to release it to others. And that's what gives you influence in the community. So here he's saying, be careful. They like to walk around in flowing robes. They love to be distinguished from all other poor common sinners who are uneducated because they have the attire. They love to be greeted in the marketplaces and have the most important seats in the synagogues and the places of honor at banquets. Here they want human adulation. They want everybody to esteem them, to say that they are something big. They're amazing. And so they're looking for that, which is just kind of the opposite of what Jesus teaches. He says, if you go to a feast, go and sit at the place of the lowest spot. And if the master of the banquet invites you to come up, then you come up. But you don't presume. They wanted an RSVP at the head table. And so Jesus is just once again just saying, this isn't the way of the kingdom. This is not how the Father has ordained his ministers, his priests, those who are called, his children, to love and to associate with one another. It's not about human adulation. And he goes even and gets a little even more direct when he says, they devour widows' houses. For a show they make lengthy prayers. Wow. See, the Levites, the priestly community, they didn't get land like all the other tribes. And they didn't receive a whole lot of compensation except for as people would bring the sacrifices, then after they'd offer the sacrifices, then that would be their meal. That would be their food. So they lived there. They were kind of dependent upon the generosity of others who would want to contribute. And one of the things that they would do is prey upon rich widows. Rich widows. They would go to the rich widow's house and come in and, for show, make this lengthy prayer, to which it's kind of like the bellboy waiting for a tip. I prayed at your house. And almost through intimidation, would start to squeeze the money from the widows. It's like, oh, I feel obligated. Now, I don't know about you, first time I experienced a real bellboy, because I never went to a hotel that had that kind of service, the Comfort Inn, Hotel 6, they don't have that, the Red Roof Inn, but when you do, and the first time, and I'm embarrassed because I don't have any tip money. It's like, oh, I'll get you later. How many times has he heard that? But it's out of that sense of obligation of coming in and doing something religious and expect some kind of compensation, some kind of tip from somebody. And Jesus was so disturbed by the way those who are supposed to be representing his Father are representing their own interest. And if there's been a theme throughout Mark, we find that the religious order at that time, so many of them were so self-centered and so focused and was so concerned about their own little slice of the pie that they wanted to make sure they did not lose anything to this itinerant minister who's going from town to town, village to village, preaching, healing, sharing revelation from the Father's heart, that makes them look really bad. Really bad. And that's the way it is with religion. Religion will always bring guilt and condemnation. As I grew up in the church, I was just amazed at how often the church would use shame to motivate people into doing the right thing. Please forgive me and all other pastors who've used guilt, condemnation, shame, manipulation to try to coerce believers into following, quote, God. It's usually not God that they're trying to get you. They're trying to get you to follow a kingdom, but it's not necessarily the kingdom of heaven. It's the kingdom that they're trying to establish. It usually has a very distinct religious tone to it.